The Woolner project that I supervised this year was on harmful algal blooms, involving the study of microalgae and the physiology and response to environmental change. Hi, I'm Andreas Heyland. I'm a professor in integrative biology, College of Biological Sciences. I study zooplankton and phytoplankton, and I teach invertebrate biology and developmental biology on campus.
What does One Health mean to you?
So for me, One Health is really the integration of animals, humans, and the environment. But what it really means for me is in the current situation where we deal with very complex environmental problems such as pandemics, climate change, and things like that. It is an opportunity and an approach that allows us to really integrate aspects of biology but also other interdisciplinary aspects into our research.
Could you tell me a little bit about your current research now for the Woolner Studentship?
The research project that is related to the Woolner Fellowship is related to studying phytoplankton and specifically their diversity and physiology. And the Woolner project was specifically on harmful algal blooms, which involve a specific species of algae or types of algae that undergo blooms under specific environmental conditions. And the project was to study the biological factors that contribute to those blooms.
How does One Health go into your research specifically?
So for my research specifically, so as we study, for example, phytoplankton populations and they undergo harmful algal blooms, that directly impacts animal and human health. They can release toxins, or they can become dangerous to animals when they're ingested, or just if organisms are exposed to those kinds of toxins. And so with respect to this research, the One Health approach, conceptually but also practically really provides an opportunity to integrate those things.
What excites you most about your research?
For me, the most exciting aspect of my research is to work on organisms and understand their physiological and developmental functions. Mm-hmm. And so there's a lot of routine in research, but for me, it's the discovery. Like when you discover something new or somewhat new, that is always exciting.
How has the Woolner Studentship changed the way that you do research?
So the student Laksha, she actually focused on a study of algal species that are associated with harmful algal blooms. So she did more of a study of biodiversity surrounding harmful algal blooms. Did this work, she actually discovered a lot of interesting new aspects of harmful algal blooms, specifically conditions surrounding abiotic conditions, for example, that occur in harmful algal blooms. So usually we know quite a bit about the abiotic conditions surrounding harmful algal blooms. So we know, for example, that nutrients can contribute to that. But by studying the response of other algal species that occur together with these blooming species, we can get a much better understanding about how these blooms actually occur in the natural environment.
In terms of your studentship this year, how much of it was fieldwork? How much of it was in a lab?
So it was a bit of a mix. Laksha went into the field about 4 or 5 times on a small lake that we use sort of as a model system to study blooms.
Yeah.
And so she went there, I think 4 or 5 times to collect samples, and then most of the other work was in the lab.
So have you been able to collaborate with anyone outside of your realm?
Yeah, so we early on we had discussions about the project with a research associate at the University of Guelph, Renee Shah Mohamedlou. He's in environmental sciences, and we discussed the project with him and also other aspects of the harmful algal bloom research.
So from your research that you got this summer, how are you going to be implementing it in the future?
So we're going to continue this work. My PhD student Kashlan Nolan, she's actually studying harmful algal blooms for a PhD project. So she's definitely going to use some of the things we learned from Laksha's project, and then continue that research. More generally, we are studying more aspects of harmful algal blooms going forward. So we have one project that studies specifically zooplankton, so Daphnia and other zooplankton that feeds on algae and how they're impacted by these algae.